Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about ultra marathon runner athlete David Goggins. And this guy basically started off his career in the United States Air Forces, where he failed the ASVAB twice before finally making it into the Air Force. David eventually graduated from BUDS training in 2001. And he was deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan on multiple occasions. So this guy has some serious military training. But he didn't stop there. In 2004, he graduated from Ranger School in the Army. And David Goggins is the only guy in U.S. Army history to actually graduate SEAL training, Ranger School, Air Force Tactical Air Controller training, and survived all those things. Those are the top-notch tiers of the military. And this guy graduated all three. No one else has ever done that before. And the thing about it is, in Ranger School, David Goggins graduated that with honors. So this is just to give you a little insight of the type of person that this guy is. Not necessarily a genius as far as book-wise is concerned. The guy was persistent. Very persistent. Even though he's failed the ASVAB twice, he continued. I mean, this is like the will of man that this guy displays in spades. So David Goggins had several friends in 2005 that died in a helicopter crash in Afghanistan. So that prompted David Goggins to start running in marathons to raise money for the Special Operations Warrior Foundation. And this particular foundation, when a soldier in special operations go down, they down in duty, they pretty much help educate their kids and help the families. So David Goggins wanted to raise money for that particular foundation, and the way he decided to do it was to run in the Badwater 135. He wanted to run in the Badwater 135. That's a 135-mile run in California, Death Valley. And they start at about 200 feet below sea level. You know, you got plenty of oxygen and everything that close to sea level. And the race ends at about 8,000 feet. So these guys are actually like running uphill. And the thing about it is that the farther you go up, the oxygen drops. So that race is a race that by invitation only. So David was not allowed to go into that race at that particular time. So they told him he had to run another marathon race before this one, before they would even consider him for the Badwater 135. So David decided to run in the San Diego 100-mile race. The crazy thing about all this is the guy never ran a marathon before in his life. So now he's trying to run a whole 100 miles in one day. And he's never done it before. So the story goes with him doing that. David ran, I mean, they were saying he was about 260 pounds at the time. What marathon runner that you know is that big and talking about running that many miles in one day, 100 miles? But this guy, I mean, this is an incredible will that this guy has to have to be able to push himself like that with that much size on him and finish the race. Now, the way the story goes is that David ran about 70 miles. And then he hit what marathon runners call the wall. Basically, he was pretty much kaput. He couldn't run anymore. He did those 70 miles and he was done. He had to broke a lot of the small bones in his feet. Basically because he was really too heavy to be doing that. Then at the same time, David Goggins said that he suffers from terrible shin splints. And that right there was causing him a great deal of pain. So what he said he did is that he taped his feet up as tight as he can get them so that he could finish the race. But his wife was telling him there's no way he's going to be able to finish the race because he's not running enough miles in the amount of time that he needs to. Now at this point, David is pissing out blood. The guy is pissing blood. The guy dying. And at the same time, the guy is crapping on himself because he done lost all functions of his body. This is how much this dude is pushing his body to the limit. He's pissing out blood, meaning his kidneys are failing. He's crapping on himself, meaning he's losing functions of his body, period. The guy is really dying. But even though he's going through all that, the guy tape his feet up, get back onto the road, and start running and finish those other 30 miles. And the thing about it is that the guy ran 100 miles at 200 and some odd pounds in 19 hours and never ran a marathon before. So in 2006, the guy was granted access to the Badwater race, the Badwater 135 in California's Death Valley, his second race, and the guy finishes in 5th place, his second race. Additional 35 miles on top of the 100 miles that he had ran earlier, the year before. Now that's the human will in spades. I mean, it's just so amazing to me that a human can push themselves that far. And what I want you to look at is some of these videos. And the videos are marathon runners at the end of the race where they hit the wall and they collapse and they fall and they're so close to the finish line. And you're going to see the will of these people push themselves despite the pain, the cramping, and the muscles stop working. They're going to push themselves toward that line. The greatest amount of human will I've ever seen.